All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Quickstart webinar with Private Money Club. Coach Noah Harris here. Hang tight, we'll get everything set up. Today is Thursday, March 13th. Man, we are flying through the year. How are your real estate goals so far? Are you hitting your goals? Are you hitting your benchmarks of what needs to happen in order to meet those New Year's resolutions? Be honest. How many of you are on track? Say me in the chat box. If you're on track, say Noah, I'm on track. Super blessed. Things are going great. If you're not on track, you're like, Noah, that's why I'm here. I got to get back on track. All right, cool. I love it. I love it. Let's see. All right, cool. I'm gonna pull up the slides here, guys. Then we're gonna kick things off. You know what's interesting is I had someone ask me, because I guess we're kind of in finance, right? Like I went to school, I studied real estate and finance in university, University of Central Florida, but I'm not like anywhere near like Chris Naugle level of knowledge and studying the markets and all of this stuff. And I had someone ask me, "Hey, what do you think about the stock market, this, that, or the other?" And really, it doesn't really affect my business much. But what I have found is that the crazier it is, sorry, hitting my, the crazier it is out there, the better off it is in my business, the better off it is within Private Money Club. So if you are someone right now who's looking to build relationships with private money lenders, and that might be someone, that might include people who have never even done private money lending before. Maybe you're going to introduce them to this concept and things like this, right? Becoming one of your lenders. There's no better time than now. And that's what I'm thinking. We just funded a deal. Well, we closed April 1st on it, and it's almost $1 million project. And the people who are funding that deal, the funds are coming from an account that was tied to the market. And they're like, well, you know what? Everything going on in the world right now, I'm going to sell that, and I'm going to put my money in a real estate deal. I'm going to lend here. I'm going to have collateral that's worth this, and I'm going to make 10%. I'm going to make a double-digit rate of return on my money. That sounds like a pretty good bet, right? So remember this, right? I'm going to share my screen. When you start seeing, let's see if I can go Google Chrome here. Let's see if they let me share this. All right, can you guys see my screen? Give me an oh yeah in the chat box. When you look at things like this and the news and everything, like the sky is falling, the stock market's going down, that is a time to start introducing people to private money lending. Simple as that. Simple as that. Working with two new people on our next project that were not private money lenders with us prior to. One of them, it's the first time she's ever done it, and they're looking for options, right? So that's what's cool. That's what we're talking about here every single Thursday at 1 o'clock on the Quick Start webinar. Let's go. You guys excited for this? Give me a big oh yeah in the chat box. All right, cool. Yeah, you guys get it. You guys get it. Right. So we do this webinar every single Thursday, 1 o'clock. Here we go. So with that being said, you will never see me on a Zoom. You will never see me teaching a class or speaking at an event or even having a one-on-one private money meeting with someone who might want to lend money or on one of our deals. You'll never see me skip over this. I truly believe that this business, if you don't know what you're doing, can be extremely risky. All right. And when I'm teaching this class and this webinar, here's the shoes that I'm standing in. I'm teaching from a real estate investor's perspective. So I'm someone who flips houses, buys rental properties, single family homes, small commercial, multifamily, right, types of things. And I use private money lenders to do it. And my wife and I have been using private money almost exclusively for the last 12 years. And so I'm teaching from the perspective of, hey, here's what I've done to help create a 100% track record. And at the same time, we also have lots of experience as coaches in the industry, helping people do this business the right way. So we've seen horror stories from people that have come to us and said, hey, I need help. I did a private money loan, and I thought I did everything okay. They were supposed to pay me 6 months ago, and I haven't heard from them. Payments have stopped. Can you help us out? And what's crazy is I'll say, hey, did you do this, 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 and this? And they say, no, I didn't even know I needed those documents. Okay, well, did you ask this question, this question, this question? No, I didn't even think to ask these questions. And so I was like, well, why did this happen? They're like, well, they were giving me 15% interest. I thought that was awesome. So I just signed a promissory note. That's it. And I didn't really get any information. And I wired the funds. And next thing you know, the project's not going as good as I was told it would. So things can happen, right? So I like to compare this. But let me back up a little bit. I wouldn't be teaching this stuff if I didn't believe in it. So I would be nowhere without my private money lenders. And I like to think my private money lenders feel the same way about me, right? It's a win-win relationship that we've had over the years. Where else can a person make a nice double-digit rate of return and have it secured by real estate, right? It's a beautiful thing for a lender. From a borrower's perspective, where else can a person put money to work, or excuse me, borrow all the money that they need to fund a real estate deal, purchase price, repairs, things like this, without having to go to a bank? So it's a beautiful win-win, but we have to put on like the body armor, right? You have to protect yourself. So when I talk to people and they're like, well, I got a promissory note, but I didn't get the mortgage. Okay, well, that's like having body armor but no helmet. You might look good, might be like Prince Charming, the flow is showing or whatever, but you're exposed. Your head's exposed. What are you doing, right? So if you're going to go into a deal, make sure you got all the body armor on. These are some of the things that we talk about on this call. So every single week, Thursday, 1:00, we talk about the best we talk about fundamentals of private money lending, best practices, and we stay sharp. So every week we try to get to a portion of this call where we practice elevator pitches and things like that, because you never know. And like I said 5 minutes ago, I truly believe that now is one of the absolute best times to be building up these private lender relationships, because people are looking for options. All right. People are looking for options. How many of you are on the call right now because you're looking for options? Is there anyone on the call right now? They're like, hey, I just got my life insurance banking IBC policy set up, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. I'm on this call because someone recommended it because they're lending money, and I'm just really don't know the logistics of it, and I'm trying to figure it out, right? Who's on the call looking for options? See, and people are messaging me, and everything's coming through, which is awesome. So I'm glad you're here, because it all starts with education, right? The best investment a person can make in their time and money is education. So here's the game plan. Every single week we start on time. We keep it real estate. If you're on this call and you're looking to learn how to borrow funds from people, not banks, to fund, let's say, fix and flip projects, rental properties, short-term rentals, midterm rentals, multifamilies, and different things like that, you're in the right room. You're in the right space. If you're on the call and you're trying to figure out, hey, how do I put my money to work, but have it secured by collateral that's worth much more, and maybe make a nice double-digit rate of return in the meantime, you are also in the right Zoom call as well. So welcome. If you have any questions at all, this is going to be an hour-long webinar. We'll go to the 2:00 Eastern time. If you have any questions at all, I'll stop probably about halfway through and at the end and answer any questions. But I do ask that you submit questions in the Q&A section of the Zoom, right? Now, if you have a question, you can put it in the chat. I just might not see it, right? So Joseph is also in the chat box there. Joseph is a part of the PMC team. He's my co-pilot on the webinar today. So any questions that you have, he can make sure that he gets those answered for you as well, right? Is all funding at 10% or more? No. What's cool, Mike? That's a great question. Mike just said, hey, is all funding at 10% or more? No, not at all. What's cool is you get to negotiate these things. Like nothing's set in stone, right? So what I would do when it comes to interest rates and negotiating interest rates and things like this, I look at the deal itself. What does the deal call for? How much can I afford to pay? Because I do like to reward my lenders. I always try to do a double-digit interest rate if it's a fix and flip or something maybe a little bit more risky or shorter term. Always try to go at least 10% for my fix and flip type of deals. For the rental properties, I would go lower, right? Because you got to make sure your property's cash flowing and things like this. But Mike, what I would do is I would interview someone. So if I was talking to Jen, I'd say, hey, Jen, tell me a little bit about yourself. How's your money working for you right now? Right. So this is relationship based. Okay. First and foremost, right, guys, this is relationship based lending. And we're going to look at the assets. We're going to look at the real estate and say, okay, is this worth more than what I'm lending on? But it really comes down to, you get to pick who you want to work with. And so I might interview someone. Let's say I'm going to use Jennifer as an example. I'm going to say, Jen, tell me how your money's working for you now. And she might say, no, I'm kind of in a holding pattern here. I got money in savings. I'm really unsure what to do with it. So in my mind, what Jennifer is telling me is that she just is making maybe 3-4% tops in a savings account, right? Or maybe it's in your IBC policy making 4% or whatever. and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. All right, cool. If I could come in and do 10%, 9%, 10, anywhere from 8 to 12, would that excite you, Jennifer? And she'd be like, yeah, absolutely. That's double what I'm making now. So I'm going to interview people, right? And trying to figure out. And if I have a deal that's a little juicier, it's a little fatter, has a little bit more equity in it, some more profit potential, I might be able to pay more. And then I might bring that to my lenders that like to lend a little bit higher, right? If I was to bring a deal to Chris Naugle's not going to look at anything unless it's like 15% or more, probably, right? Because Chris is super savvy. His money's working for him in all different kinds of ways, right? So I got to make sure if I bring a deal to Chris, it's got to be something that's really going to get his attention. Does that make sense? So everything's negotiable. All experience levels are welcome. So if you're on the call for the first time, do me a favor, just say hi. Just say hi in the chat box. Say, hey, first time, brand new. And we're going to welcome everyone here that's on the call for the first time. We do make this as interactive as possible. So get your fingers warmed up. If you're on your laptop, get your thumbs warmed up. If you're on your iPhone listening, if you're driving, just stay 10 and 2. Don't worry about it. We'll get you next time. But if you are a regular, you're a member of Private Money Club, just go ahead and say hi in the chat box as well. And let's make everyone that's brand new feel welcome. You can say welcome to them. So I do this every single Thursday. Coach Noah Harris, part of the PMC team. I'm a real estate investor out of Columbia, South Carolina. What we try to work on through this webinar here and through what we call the accelerator course at Private Money Club is helping people create a great track record lending and borrowing. That's the goal. I'm a coach of a program for PMC called the Accelerator Program. You might hear me mention that. I see some students of mine in the chat box now. If you've taken the Accelerator class, just go ahead and say hello in the chat box. Let's see who's here today. We've got almost 100 people so far. What would we call them? Jose and Joseph, alumni, right? Hey, Ruth. Hey, Andrew. Good to see y'all on here. And we got an upcoming event as well called the Money Tank, which I'll be speaking at, which we'll talk more about here in a minute later today. So let's get into this. Let's kick things off. This is a great learning lesson, especially if you're relatively new to this, right? So I just told you how now may be one of the best times to meet people that could be private money lenders for us, right? When it's crazy out there and everything's seeing red, the better off it is in here. I think the easier it is to get people to look for alternatives when the stock market's being unpredictable, right? So when you start having conversations with people, family, friends, coworkers, people you used to work with that are now retired, right? Folks that you have some sort of relationship with, and you're going to them and introducing this idea of private money lending to possibly fund your deals, we got to kind of put ourselves in their shoes. Right. So, and remember this, lots of times people have never really heard of private money lending. So let me ask you a question. We've been asking this the last couple of weeks on this call. What do you think of when you hear the term private lender? What do you think of when you hear the term private lender? Type it in the chat box. What's that mean to you? What do you think of when you hear the term private lender? Is this thing on? Okay. All right, cool. There we go. Now it's coming in. Individual has plenty of cash to lend. All right, cool. Marilyn says a partner. Yeah, Mark says something better than the bank. Personal funds. Brenda says access to money, right? Thank you guys for participating. Jose says cash cow. All right, cool. I like it. So when you got to keep this in mind, when you start talking to people about private money lending, some folks might not know what that is. So they're going to go on Google, right? If you go on Google right now and you typed in private lender, there's going to be millions of search results that pop up. And lots of times those search results aren't necessarily people. It might be a fund. It might be a company, whatever. It's a type in that bucket. A private money lender means someone or something or some entity that doesn't necessarily have to check all of these boxes that a traditional lender would, right? And when we talk about private lender on Private Money Club and on these webinars here, we're talking about people. And if you want to help people become private lenders, or you want to become a private money lender yourself, you have to give people that self-concept that, hey, I can do this. Because a financial advisor isn't necessarily introducing this idea to people. The banks certainly aren't introducing this idea to people, right? So it's kind of on us to do our own research and to educate ourselves around how to do this. So you're going to learn from me. When we do an elevator pitch at the end of the webinar here today, we'll talk about, hey, how do we give people the self-concept that, hey, I can do this? Private money lender means nothing but a person. You don't have to be a multimillionaire to be a private money lender. You don't have to have multimillionaire friends to borrow money from people. I truly believe that anyone that I've had a relationship with, contact with, folks, even when it's like a gift and a curse. If I'm at the grocery store, I'm talking to someone for more than 2 minutes. In my mind, I'm thinking, wow, this person would be a great private money lender, right? Anyone and everyone, right? So remember this, it's people and it's about relationships. If you're taking notes right now, relationships should be like circled, highlighted, underlined a million times, right? That's what it's all about, the relationship. So let's talk about this. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are your goals? If you are on this call right now, let's do a roll call. If you are on this call right now and you love the idea of using other people's funds to fund your real estate deals, and you like the idea of using a person and not a bank, type borrower in the chat box. Where are my borrowers at? Where are my borrowers at? Type borrower in the chat box. Let's see where you're at. We've got 56 people on the call right now. Let's see how it all divvies up, Jose and Joseph. Let's see. All right, borrowers are coming in. There's my real estate investors, right? There's my real estate investors. All right, cool. Thank you for participating. Thank you for participating. On the flip side of this, how many of you love the idea of putting your money to work at a nice double-digit rate of return and having it secured by an asset that's worth much more? You're a lender. So type lender in the chat box. Lender in the chat box. Let's see. I got some folks that are saying, hey, I'm starting out borrowing. I'm going to eventually grow to be a lender. Lots of lenders coming in, soon to be lender. Are you an aspiring lender? Maybe you haven't done a deal yet. You're just being cautious and making sure you're doing things the right way and, educating yourself first, which isn't a bad idea. All right, cool. So this is really cool. If you went back up through this list here, I would say it's kind of like 50-50, isn't it? It's kind of like 50-50. And what's amazing to me, this is my favorite part, Joseph, my favorite part of the webinar, because there are so many people outside of the private money club that are involved in real estate, maybe want to get into real estate, or maybe they're in real estate now, but they only use hard money lenders, or they only use their own cash to fund their real estate deals. And the idea of a person, it isn't clicking, right? They've always done it hard money. They've always used their own cash. And then when they meet me and I have like a private money club shirt on or a hat or something, they're like, what's PMC? I'm like, oh, it's, private money club. I use people to fund my real estate deals, not hard money or banks or use my own funds. And they're like, who are these people? Who are these people? They kind of look at me like I'm a, I don't know, like a Yeti, like Bigfoot, like they've seen a ghost, like private money lenders exist. You just got to know where to find them. And so this is all relationship based. All right. This is all relationship based. This is so important. So it's cool to see we kind of got 50-50 on the call. Now, essentially all you guys got to do is just connect, right? The lenders connect with the borrowers connect with the lenders. Now, there's a little bit more to it than that. You should have interviews and things like this. Like, remember, and I'm going to show you some things that are going on in Private Money Club here in a minute. I'll open up the back office and I'll show you deals and things like this. But Chris Naugle calls this like the dating website for borrowers and lenders, right? That's what he calls it, dating site for borrowers and lenders. Now, in order to find your one, you got to go on some dates, right? You're not going to marry the first person that you talk to, right? You're gonna start talking, and you're gonna email each other back and forth. You're gonna text message. You're gonna hop on the phone. Maybe you have a Zoom call, right? In business, it's the same, right? When it comes to this, you're building the relationship, right? So here's where I see people struggle with things. They don't know where to look. Well, who are these people? Where are these people? That's where the private money club comes into play. All right. That's where it comes into play. I could go fishing with a friend of mine, and my friend of mine, let's say he knows the lake and he knows where to find the fish, but I don't. And we could take two different boats. He could come back to the marina with a cooler full of fish. I could come back empty handed because I don't know where to go. It's the same thing here with private money club. Why do some people struggle? It's because they don't know who to talk to or where to go, right? They're trying to figure it out, go to real estate meetings and all this stuff. This is the spot. This is where it's at, right? So welcome to the club. Is there anyone here right now who has a deal and they're looking for funding, whether it's right now or like maybe you're putting offers in? Is there anyone that's on the webinar right now that's like, hey, I've got a contract and I got to figure this thing out, right? Okay, cool. I love it. I love it. So lots of people. All right, you're in the right room. You're in the right place. So I'm going to share with you what I would do. And I've shared this before, but hopefully like you guys can take one or two things from each webinar that we do, and you're eventually applying all of these things that we're teaching. So if you've been on the call a couple times now, this might seem, oh, no, it does this every week. Well, yeah, that's how important it is. This is how I find lenders. This is how people should be leveraging the Private Money Club platform, right? So check this out. So here's 4 things that I would do right now, especially if I'm brand new. Even if you're not brand new, even if you have a deal, but maybe you've been away from the Private Money Club for a minute and you're coming back because now you need funding for a deal. This is what I would do if I were you. Four steps that we're going to talk about right now. Number 1 is you should cruise over. I'm going to ask Joseph. Joseph, can you put the link in the chat box so I don't have to like move my windows around? I would go to privatemoneyclub.com or Jose, can you do it for me? And I would go to privatemoneyclub.com and I would create a profile. So you can create a free profile on Private Money Club to start networking with people who actually are interested in what you got going on and what you have to offer, right? It's all about where you're fishing, right? I just think that's such a great analogy. You want to go where people want what you have, right? Where they're hungry for it. So number 1, we're going to talk about this, and I'll show you how to do this. I'll show you mine and you can work on yours and make it excellent. All right. So I would cruise over to Private Money Club. Joseph and Jose both have it in a link there, privatemoneyclub.com. And I would create my profile. Now you're going to see an option, free profile, premium membership. We'll talk about that. Number 2, I would then, if I was a premier member, and I'll explain what the difference is, but if I was a premier member, every single Monday, we do Money Club Monday, where you can hop on a webinar and Stephen Nagy's the host, co-founder of Private Money Club, and you present to the community. So if you're talking about, now I can't guarantee if you do all these 4 steps, you're going to have a deal your deal is going to get funded. But what I can guarantee you is that there's going to be eyes on your project, right? And that's what it's all about, exposure. Okay. So if you're looking for exposure, you're looking to increase your likelihood of meeting people that might be interested, this is the place for you. And then I would post my deal. All right. And if you need any help with this, I would highly recommend scheduling what's called a blueprint call with the team, right? So you see, I got my man Jose there. I'm there hanging out with Mike, Stephen Nagy. So schedule a call with the team, have them walk you through this, right? So, oh, cool. So Joseph just posted, it says, book a call now, go.privatemoneyclub.com/blueprint. Click on that link, schedule a call, and they can walk you through it. I'm going to give you a little demo right now. And I always like to say, like, show like what's happening within Private Money Club. So let me pull this up too. All right. So let me just get rid of this. We already know what's going on. Remember, the crazier it is out there, the better it is in here for us, right?
Your real estate business lives and dies by the network and the connections that you make. I mean, after all, your network, well, it's your net worth. That's what you always heard, right? If that's an area where you desire improvement, well, Private Money Club, it's for you. PMC saves you precious time and money by bringing the real estate world, well, right to you, right in the palm of your hand. So get in on the action like so many others have by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Jennifer says, become premier. Presenting on Monday Club Monday is a great experience, network, and exposure. Yep, absolutely. That's someone who's used Private Money Club quite a bit and has a lot of success with building some good relationships with some lenders in there. All right, so can you guys see my screen? Give me a big, oh yeah, if you can see my screen. Let me know. All right, cool. So you should see it. So this is the deal section I have here. So if I had a deal, right? Step 1, create your profile. Now you can create a free profile. I believe every single person on this call, Jose, there's 59 people. All 59 people should have a Private Money Club profile. You can have a free account and you can post one deal under a free account, or you can have a premier membership where you can post multiple projects. There's some coaching and things like that come with it. Premier is totally worth it, not much more. But if you're just here for the first time and you're poking around, create the free profile, see what it's all about, test and measure. And then when you're ready to rock and roll, leapfrog and go premier, right? That's my advice to you. So this is my profile here. Let me show you how I built it out, how I use it, things like this, right? And by the way, pictures are really important. So do yourself a favor. I don't care what you do, but do yourself a favor. If when you do create your profile, do not half-ass it. And I'm sorry for using the word ass, but I don't know how else to describe the lack of effort. You want to use your whole ass, right? Don't half-ass it. So you got to make it nice. If you have a profile and then you post a deal in Private Money Club and the person's like, oh, this deal looks like it could be something that I want to lend on. Let me click on this person's profile to see who they are and what they're all about. And then they click on your profile. There's like no picture. It's like 2 sentences in your bio or description. You're going to look like a scam. You're going to look like somebody that isn't serious. So why would someone message you to fund your deal? Right? So take the time, take 30 minutes, do a good job, fill it out. Let's go. Right? So here I got a picture, I got a profile picture here. I got my background photo. I am a premier member. So when you are a premier member, you have like the little orange circle there with the PMC envelope showing that you are a premier member. I do think there's a little bit more clout, if you are a premier member. I just feel like you kind of, maybe it shows that you've been around the campfire a little longer. You're not just, coming and going type of thing, right? You're a premier member. You invested in yourself. I think it carries some weight. These other little certificate badges here, you can see under my name, certified lender, certified borrower. That just simply means I took a course in Private Money Club and passed the test, graduated from that course, and now I've got that badge next to my name. So I've spent some more time investing in my education. If you are a premier member, I believe you can take those classes at no additional charge, like it's part of your membership. So those are some cool things that help your profile stand out. Okay, so take some notes on that. In your profile here, it allows you to post some pictures. Sorry about that. It allows you to post some pictures. So what I do is I actually share projects, past projects, so people can see my work, see some of our fix and flips. My wife and I invest a lot in manufactured homes. So if someone's talking to me about a manufactured home deal, I can say, hey, if you check out pictures 5 and 6 in my profile, you can see that those are manufactured homes that we've done, right? A little snapshot from one of my slide presentations that I use on Money Club Mondays to present my deals, right? So it's filled out. And then in the section here, I talk about, this is good. Now, if you are on here and your profile doesn't have some of these things, maybe after our call today, you go in there and you edit it to make it help stand out, right? This is called the Quickstart webinar. I'm trying to help you get started quick. So it has a little bit of bio, and then it has like what it looks like to work with us. What a typical deal might look like working with us, the types of documents that we provide and collateral that we provide to our lenders, right? There's calls of action. What do I want people to do? Message me, go to my website, things like this to learn more, right? So spend some time doing this. All right. What do you guys think? Pretty good so far. So if you're here for the first time and you've got a deal, become a member, free or premier, post your deals. Let's go. Right. Let's go. Pete says, I just took and passed the lender course. Awesome. Good job, Pete. I love it. I love it. Do some creative, good headliner. Yeah. Mark says, hey, good headliner. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Patrick says, highly recommend PMC Premier. Just wonderful and complete tool. That's, yeah, for sure. I agree with you, Patrick. That's awesome. Thanks for that feedback. All right, cool. So let's check out the deals. So now that you've got your profile set up and it's on point, then you're going to then go post your deal. Okay. Like step 2, right? Step 2, first time new. Welcome, Greg. This is what we're doing. Go create your free profile right now so you can get in PMC and get on the platform. So if I had a deal, what I would do is I would come up to the deal section. I just hit post a deal. And by the way, we need borrowers. PMC, we always need good borrowers. So if you're someone with a good track record, you're looking for funding, you're tired of using hard money lending, why are you paying all these fees, these points and all this crap? We quoted a hard money lender on a deal that we're closing April 1st. And it would have been like a $900,000 loan. The fees, the points, all the stuff added up to almost $25,000 that we would have been paying to a hard money lender. We're using private money and I'm paying no points or fees. Okay. So do you see the difference there? So understanding how to do this, how to present the private money club itself, just for that one deal was worth over $25,000 to me and my family, right? Just to put this in perspective. And if you're someone who does multiple deals a year, that stuff can add up, right? You following me here? So if you have a deal, you come in, you post it, then you add like the deal name, the financials, you can add pictures, property details. And then it also allows you to post like information about the deal. Like if you put together a lender package or something like that, you could have that there as an attachment where someone could check it out right from the deals section here, which is cool. And you can kind of see like this is what it looks like. Like if I clicked on this one here, kind of, you can post the pictures, talks about the deal. And if you were interested, you could cruise over and just hit message. I could message Amy to learn more about this property here, which is awesome, right? If you're interested, you can message her right on Private Money Club. You could click I'm interested. You can come over here and click on this to subscribe to the deal to stay updated on any changes that she might make or things like that. But yeah, this is a little manufactured home deal. So you can see she's looking for 69,000, paying 15% interest, 12-month term. This is a nice little one here. I was working with, I'll never give a recommendation. Let me back up. I'll never say, hey, you should do this. But what I will tell you though, is that, hey, this might be worth a conversation. It might be worth messaging this person to learn more about this deal and to learn more about their business, if that makes sense. Right. So I'm never going to say, hey, yeah, you should do that. Cause I'm not interviewing them. You're going to interview them. Right. And if you feel like you need help with that, the accelerator class that I teach, that's what we do. If you're a lender on the call right now and you want help figuring out what questions to ask and, what is underwriting? How does that work? Like, what should I look for in the person? That's what we do. I teach a course for Private Money Club. It's called the Accelerator Program. Maybe Joseph can put the link in the chat box there. And to learn more about it, you can schedule a call with the team. And I just help kind of expedite the learning and collapse the time frame of learning how to do this to help keep people safe as much as possible when they're borrowing and lending, right? How to be a great borrower, how to be a better lender. Those are some of the things that we talk about. If I was looking at this deal here, I was kind of reading through this earlier, just as she talks about the loan and things like that, but the house is in great shape. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's a manufactured home. I'd have a couple questions like, is it detitled and things like this. My wife teaches a class for Private Money Club about mobile home investing, where she teaches people how to underwrite mobile home deals and do deals like this. But anyways, I would just be wondering what's the money for, because the property's owned free and clear. So would this $69,000 be going towards this property, or would this property just be the collateral and the 69,000 is going into a different deal? So that's something that if I was interviewing Amy, that's something I might ask her. Right. So you can see kind of like, a little bit of insight there, which is cool. But yeah, anyway, good deal. So if you've got a deal right now, create the profile. And then what I would do is I would hop on Money Club Mondays. So we do a webinar every single Monday where people present deals. They present opportunities. So now you've got your deal posted. You're posting it, sharing it live on the PMC platform via Zoom. And then what they do is they record that webinar and send it out to all of the members. So there's been times where I've shared a deal on Money Club Monday and had some interest, but then like a week later when it got released, the videos got released, I've had more people come back and say, hey, I didn't catch it live, but I saw the replay. Is this deal still available? Which is awesome. And of course, I would also post here in the community section. So this kind of has like a social media vibe to it, kind of like a real clean, it's kind of like Facebook, but without all the crap that goes along with Facebook. This is just about private money and business and real estate, which is awesome. This is a beautiful platform. From a learning perspective, this is where you would find the borrower course and the lender course that Pete said he just graduated from, the lender certification. So you would click on here, take this class, and then that badge gets added to your profile, which is awesome. If you need any help with tools and different things like that to present your deals, they have it here in the Learning Center, right? Any questions on that? I feel like, again, if you're this person here, I got a deal, Noah, I need help. Create your profile. If you're a Premier member, you get to present. And by the way, it's not just a one-time thing. You get to present any and every Monday that you want to present a deal on, which is phenomenal. Like I think that one of the secret sauces to all this is to get your name out there, right? And if you really wanted to work it, if you're like, hey, I want to figure out how to get in front of as many people as possible, good people that can really help me in my business, I would be on those Money Club Monday calls every single Monday, like clockwork. And I would become a family. What do they call them? What's it called when you're eating dinner? A household name. I would become a household name in the private money club community, right? So do those action steps help? Right? If you're on the call and you're currently a member, I would take some of those things and start to implement them into your systems. Okay. Is there a cost to getting those certifications? I don't believe there is if you are a premier member. If you're a premier member, I don't believe there is a cost to that. And if you're interested in taking any classes, a lot of those prices, the tuition for the courses depend if you're a premier member or not. And they have discounts and all these kind of promo codes and things like this. That would be a question to talk to Joseph about. So I'm gonna have Joseph put your phone number in there, put your email in there. He works on the sales side with Private Money Club. I just teach the classes. All right. So I'm gonna ask Joseph, put your link in there and you can talk to him about when the next one starts and how all of that works. Right. Definitely worth it if you're going to be investing in real estate. And if you are going to be lending, please, please, please take the time to learn as much as you can. Okay. Learn as much as you can. Let me give you some advice right now. I'm going to share some slides with you. Before I do that, these slides are really important here. I mean, I've got 76 of them in this deck here, but we're going to cover these three. We talk about the importance of education and being in the right rooms. If you're the type of person where you're like, hey, I love the Zoom calls, Noah, but I really like to be face to face. I like that classroom. I like the hands-on type of learning. Our Money Tank event, I don't know if you've heard about this yet. I've seen Chris and Steven mentioning it on their webinars and things that they do. We have an event coming up. It's in Dallas, Texas. So it's May 8th and 9th in Dallas. And this is it's 2 days. It's a Thursday and a Friday. It's going to be awesome. Money Tank is the flagship. I don't want to call it a boot camp. It's more like a networking event that Money Tank, that Private Money Club does. And I would be in that room. It's one thing to meet people on Zoom or messaging them in PMC. It's a whole nother thing to actually go and shake their hand, right? And actually get to go and meet your lender, go and meet the people that you've been lending money to face, right? And really build that relationship. There are some promo codes. I think this is the last day before a price change. Joseph, am I wrong? Did I see that somewhere? Did I get an email about that? I think the prices are going to be going up in the next 24 hours. Like, this is early bird season right now, but there are 2 promo codes. And Jen Pertel, I know you asked me about promo codes last week. I got the promo codes for you. So if you are a premier member, you can use the Premier 500 and it's $500 off a VIP ticket. Or you can use Premier 200 and it's $200 off a general admission ticket for premium PMC members, right? If you're not a member, talk to Joseph. I think there's some promo codes as well, but I just don't have them up here on the screen, right? So if you're interested, Joseph, I'll have people reach out to you. You can help them out. Okay. Sound good, guys? Get to the Money Tank. It's a good time. So here's some of the things that we help with, right? I've been teaching this in the accelerator class. We just had a new class that's just kicked off this week, actually. And the next one that we're doing, the next class that we're teaching is what's March? I think it's in May. But right now we just started our most recent accelerator. These are some of the things that they're going to be learning. So if I'm on this call right now and I'm a lender, you want to put money to work. Here's what I've been telling people, right? No half-assing. No, maybe I need a t-shirt that says that. No half-ass. If you're thinking about funding a deal, I would hope that the person who is presenting that opportunity to you is putting together a presentation. Like, if you're watching on Money Club Monday, like, hopefully on Money Club Monday, the person is prepared and they have their slides and they have all the information about the deal. They've got an overview of their team. They've got information about the deal. They've got pictures. They've got comparable sales. They've got it dialed in with what their exit strategy is going to be on the project, what the loan opportunity is, the terms, what the collateral is, the documents that they provide to their people, right? And how to get a hold. So there's a process to this, right? How do we get this as professional as possible? And if you're a lender on the call and someone isn't necessarily putting together something that's impressive about lending on the deal, I can almost guarantee that it's probably not going to be impressive to work with them. This type of, putting something together to present might take a couple of hours, right? And the people who aren't putting in the effort to properly present an opportunity probably don't deserve your money. Just saying, right? Why are you gonna lend 200, 300, $400,000 of your hard-earned money, retirement, to someone who isn't willing to put in 3 or 4 hours to put together a decent presentation to explain what's going on and what the deal is? You follow me? Can I get a big oh yeah in the chat box if you're with me on that one? It's all about, for my lenders, I'm just trying to keep you guys safe. How a person presents the deal is it's foreshadowing what it's going to look like to work with them. If they're not organized up front, imagine what it's like working with them on the construction site, right? Imagine how unorganized they might be with their contractors and things like this. Okay, so that's really important. These are some of the things that I'm teaching people to look for on these calls, and especially in our accelerator class. The other thing, I've been hitting this, but gosh, there's a lot of new people on the call. So I hate to not talk about this because I feel like this is one of the big ones that keeps us safe. You're only as good as your team. So if I'm going to put on my borrower hat right now, and let's say you're new to real estate, a lender's going to ask you, a good lender should ask you, hey, how many deals have you done? Tell me what your experience level is. I'm curious, how many, and you're like, well, it's my first one. And you're like, oh, it's the first one. And you're like, yeah, but I read this book and I feel like I can do it. That's a no, right? That's a hard stop, right? So if I'm new to real estate in general, even if you're not brand new, I don't care if you've done 100 deals. If you're working with a new lender for the first time, that lender should ask, hey, tell me about your team. Tell me about how many deals you've done. So what I'm instructing people to do is to surround themselves with licensed business professionals. Okay, what does that look like? Well, number one at the top of the list is a real estate attorney. So if I'm borrowing funds here in the state of South Carolina, we use real estate attorneys primarily to do our closings. They run the title searches, record everything, and things like that, right? They close on the deals with us, for us. So number one, I need a real estate attorney, because I'm also going to have the real estate attorney. If my lender needs help, I'll have them draft the right documents and things like this for the lender. So I want to have that person on my team set up, no questions asked, right? We're ready to rock and roll. I want to have a great real estate agent on my team who's giving me the information, telling me that this is a good deal and what it could sell for once it's all fixed up. Am I the one figuring it out on Zillow, or am I working with the professional that this is all they do every day, right? My general contractor. Who are my contractors? Who are my tradespeople? Do they have good reviews? Have they been in the business for a long time? Right? Do they keep job sites clean? Do they come highly recommended? All of these things are really, really important. Home inspector. Who is my home? Am I getting houses inspected? Am I the one crawling under the house, trying to figure out if there's termite damage? No, right? All of these people that you see on this list are important just to be successful at real estate, right? Let alone borrowing the funds. Okay, so as a real estate investor, it's important that you have all these people figured out before you start having your conversations, right? So if someone did come to me, if Len Chi came to me and said, hey, Noah, how many deals have you done, right? And if I was brand new, but I've taken the time to figure out who my team is, I might say, hey, Len Chi, for the past 10 years, I did sales. I wasn't necessarily in real estate. However, before even having a conversation with you, I've gone out and I've got the best real estate attorney in town, comes highly recommended. Everyone in the community loves him. I got the best real estate agent. She's the top 1% in the neighborhood where we're going to be buying our houses. Our contractors have been in business over 20 years. Home inspector, 5 stars on Google, right? Everybody loves them because they always find what's wrong with the property, right? Financial advisor, accountant, the list goes on and on. So I might say, hey, Len Chi, I might be brand new. However, my team has over 100 years of real estate experience. And that might not necessarily seal the deal, but what they may say is, you know what? I like that. I respect that. I appreciate your approach to this business. Let's keep talking about the deal. Tell me about the project, right? You follow? So this is really important. And if you're a lender, you should be asking these questions. If you're looking at a fix and flip private money club, hey, this looks pretty good. It's 15%, 12 months. It looks like it could be a good deal. Let's set up a time to call. I'm going to call the person. I'm going to say, hey, look, tell me about your business model. Tell me about your market. Tell me about your team. Are you the one doing the work, or do you hire people? Like, what does all of that look like? And I want them to be able to brag about who they surround themselves with. Does that make sense? Is this good stuff? You guys liking this? Or are we okay? We done? We just end the call? Should we keep going? For everyone that's been on the call on this webinar routinely, this is, we talk about this every week, but that's how important it is. So hopefully, I know Pete's been on here a bunch. I know other people have been on here a bunch. If you're a borrower, here's my assignment to you. Like, if you haven't done any of this yet, this week, do the real estate attorney, right? Figure out who that's going to be. Next week, you figure out the contractor, right? You build your team, right? Build your team. And if you want to get this done quicker, the accelerator program is a good course to help you kind of expedite that for you, right? I also, one of the tools that Private Money Club provides to, I believe all members, free or premier, is what's called the perfect loan proposal, right? The perfect loan proposal. So inside the Private Money Club perfect loan proposal is a template that you can switch out and change Chris's information with your information. So it's a template that Chris Naugle used in his real estate investing business when he was flipping houses and active in the real estate game. And you can come in and change your company name. And now you have something that you can like hand to somebody, right? So if I was talking to Missy, and Missy was like, you know what, I would love to set up a time to speak with you, Noah. Like, this seems like it could be a really good opportunity. I'd like to hear more about your business. I'm going to say, fantastic. How's Wednesday, Missy? And she's going to say, great. And so we'll set up the time. Before I get off the phone with Missy, I'm going to say, Missy, what's your email? I'm going to send you something that you can review about my company prior to our meeting. And she's going to say, fantastic. Here's my email. I'm going to email it over to her. Boom. So what I'm doing is, prior to our meeting, I'm going to begin establishing credibility and showing Missy what it looks like to work with us, right? So I'm educating her on private money, educating her on what we do in our business, so that when I sit down with her, we're off to the races. I can ask Missy, hey, Missy, did you get the private money lender guide? That's what I call it. So it's perfect loan proposal, but I call it the private money lender guide. And she's going to say, yeah. I'll say, hey, great. What did you like most about it? And she says, well, I just love how, I love how there's collateral with the loans, right? Unlike the stock market right now, I'm really concerned. I love how if I lend 100,000, that 100,000 is going to be secured by a house in the example that you gave that was worth 175,000. That seems like it really makes sense to me. Okay, great. Now I know kind of where her head's at. You follow me? So someone had a question, where is this? Now you gotta kind of make it your own, right? But I'll show you. I'll show you where it's at. So I would spend some time putting this together, and it's in Private Money Club. I don't know if this is a premier member benefit or not. So don't shoot the messenger. But if you are a premier member, then great. You don't have to worry about it. So I think you can see my screen under the learning tab. You come over, hit tools, and it's perfect loan proposal, and you can download it right here. And there's even instruction video on like how to make it your own as well, if you need extra help and assistance with that. Right. So did you get that? Go to learning, tools, perfect loan proposal, instruction video. You just click down here to download it. It comes in a PowerPoint format, right? Perfect. All right, cool. All right, awesome. All right, cool. Let's go back. So these are some tools, right? These are some different things that we're putting in our, what is it? What do they say, Jose? Another arrow for the quiver? Is that what they say? All right. But if you want some help with this stuff, if you like learning with me, this is information on the class. I got to change this because we just started the March 10th class. We do limit it to 20 people. We do the best we can to limit it to 20 people. And we learn all different kinds of things over the course. It's 4 weeks of Zoom calls twice a week. And if you have any questions after that, I'm available another 4 weeks to help answer questions. You want to look over deals and things like that, I'm your coach, right? I help you out. And so what we do is, on Mondays, we teach from the borrower's perspective. And then on Wednesdays, we teach from the lender's perspective. But I do recommend that lenders are on the borrower call and that borrowers are on the lender call. Because I think if you want to be a great borrower, it's really important to learn what's important to the lenders. And if you're on the lender call, it's really important, I think, to understand what's important to the borrowers to help you stand out and have people wanting to work with you and things like this. Because from my experience, I can't speak of anyone else's, but from my experience, Whenever I post a deal on Private Money Club, I usually have multiple people that are interested in funding the deal. So as a lender, that this course also helps you establish credibility and stand out, because if I'm choosing between two people, I'm going to pick the person that I think understands me, right? And what's important to my business, but also the person that I feel is the most credible, meaning they're not going to flake, they're going to follow through, and they're going to be good to work with, right? So we go on these dates, right? This is why it's so important to have conversations with people. I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, man, I haven't really connected with anyone on Private Money Club yet. I was scratching my head. I'm like, I'm confused. And they're like, I was like, how many conversations have you had? And they're like, well, I haven't had any conversations. I'm waiting for someone to message me. Like, you can't be a wallflower. Like you can't just be leaning up against the wall in the gym hoping that someone comes and asks you to dance. All right. Like you have to be the one that's messaging people and active in this to find your person, to find your lenders, to find your borrowers. And Private Money Club allows you to be able to do that. It's the platform that allows you to be able to do that. I was telling someone, trying to put it in a different perspective that people understood. For my real estate investors that are on the call, let me ask you a question. How many offers do you need to make before you get an offer accepted? What does that look like for you? How many offers do you need to make before you get an offer accepted? Right? Okay, so Patrick and Mike are kind of, and Mark, you're subscribing to my we have the same, we're cut from the same cloth, right? So I was always kind of raised on the principle of 100 offers to find your diamond in the rough, or your needle in the haystack, to find your good deal, right? And so it might be less, it might be more, but we kind of go into this with the mindset of I got to make offers to find the right deal. I look at lending the same. I have to have 20 good conversations with people and meet people and shake hands, whether it be virtually or in person, to find my one, right? So we can't get too frustrated where it's like, man, I have a PMC profile, but no one's messaged me. Well, how many people have you messaged? How many deals have you clicked on and talked to the borrower about funding, right? So I would encourage you to have that philosophy. Okay, I got to have 20 conversations. Like if I were to give an assignment this week, it would be like, hey, go message 5 people on Private Money Club about their business and set up a time to talk about their business and just go from there. Like you don't have to fund a deal just because you had a coffee with someone or we're on a phone call or a Zoom with someone. You follow me? Right? Tracy, great question. Tracy asks, is the accelerator class about the mobile homes? No, my wife, Christy, who is right behind me here, always looking over my shoulder. Christy teaches a mobile home investor course for Private Money Club. And for a lot of reasons. Number one, I think, and she thinks it's a great asset class. It's a great vehicle right now, clean, safe, affordable housing. There's lots of different ways to do it, whether it's a mobile home park or a nice, beautiful manufactured home on land that you just kind of have set up and turn around and sell. There's a lot of different ways, but also for the lenders. Now you're in the right place, Tracy. It's all good. Also for the lenders, smaller loan amounts, whether you're funding just the manufactured home, funding just the land, maybe you're funding both, but there's smaller price points than the single family houses. And so it really allows a lot of people to get involved and have favorable lien positions, maybe a first position lien in a smaller amount because it's a manufactured home and not a single family home, right? Concrete or block or stick build or whatever, right? Which is awesome. So I love it. Yeah. And Christy teaches that. I think Joseph can post that in the chat box there if you want to learn more about the mobile home course. And I have the slide up here too. I had this up here. I've been talking, not even looking at it. Here's what I would recommend to everybody on the call is just to make a move. Just do something, right? So if you haven't created your free PMC profile yet, go ahead and do it. If you haven't had a chance to hop on a blueprint call with one of the team members, go ahead and do it. If you are a premier member with Private Money Club, but you haven't taken the certification courses yet, go ahead and knock those out. Those are available to you. Why wouldn't you do that, right? Accelerator course, we have another one starting. I believe it's in May. We just started this last one, March 10th. If you're interested in help, the investment for that class, it varies if you are a premier member If it's the only thing that you do, it might be a couple $1,000. But if you are a premier member and they got promo codes and different things that they can add to that to make it really worth your while, Tracy, I would say message the PMC team, Joseph or Jose, and they can set you up a call, go over the details with you and tell you how much it is and what the investments are for those classes if you're combining things, right? Yeah, there you go, Joseph. Awesome. Money Tank event. If you love the idea of hanging out in person, Dallas, Texas, that's the spot. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm going to be there. I'm really excited. We have a small airport, so they just actually announced one nonstop trips to Dallas right when the Money Tank drops. So I was like, yes. So Christy and I will both be there. If you're like Tracy and you like the idea of learning about manufactured homes, they've asked Christy to teach about manufactured homes. And lots of times we just do case studies and things like that of like what we're actively doing right now in today's market. And so I imagine that's what Christy will be teaching and talking about during her session at the Money Tank event. Early bird discounts are available. Oh, she said, no, I don't. Okay. All right. That's all good. It's all good. Early bird discounts are available, but you got to take action. I think that's ending today. Let me see. The best way to find out is to just go to the website. So I'm going to pull it up for you guys. I'm going to make your life easy. Now you can click on the link that the team's providing you, or you can go to moneytank.com. Oh, no, that's not money. I'm sorry. I'm thinking out loud. Private Money Club. Let's see. I know it was on the side of the page here. I think it was on the deals section here. Where is it? Okay, there we go. All right, cool. Let me pull this up for you. All right. Yeah. Here's all the details. So you can go to privatemoneyclub.com/money tank event. Let me put the link in the box here. Hold on. I'll put the link in the box. Hold on. I'm putting it in the chat. Hang tight. Oops. But this is what we're going to be looking at. So here's all the information about it. It has the hotels and different things like that listed there for you. The countdown, it starts in 55 days, right? So now's the time. They have the hotel figured out, all of these things. Okay, yeah. Ticket price will increase in 2 days and 9 hours. All right. So take action now. I just dropped some promo codes in there for you. I don't know if there are other promo codes, Joseph, if you're not a premier member, that maybe you could help these guys out with. Message Joseph, shoot him a text message and he can send it out to you. But all the frequently asked questions and things like that about the event, like where to stay and things like that, it can all be found here, right? What airport, what venue, where should I stay, things like this. How should I dress? That's actually important because you want to bring a sweater. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's warm. Dress comfortably, be yourself. But anyway, Money Tank event's an awesome time. You guys are gonna have a lot of fun. All right, cool. There's the link there. You guys can click on that. Joseph can help you out with tickets and such. So, all right, cool. Was this a good training? Did you guys have a good time? It's 2:01. It's 2:01. Kids are getting off the bus soon, so I'm gonna have to sign off. Any last questions before we end the March 13th, 2025 Quick Start webinar? This was the 55th time that we've done this webinar. We've only missed 2. So in the last 57 weeks, we've done 55 of these webinars. It's about staying sharp, staying plugged in, right? Practicing what you're learning on these calls and being the best lender you can be, being the best borrower that you can be, acting with ethics and integrity is so important. I can't tell you how important that is in helping a person create a 100% track record. So hopefully you guys are learning a bunch, and I will see you next Thursday. All right. Next Thursday, same time, same place. All right. I'll see you then. Happy investing, everybody.